Lyda Ruijter, who's the owner and director of Seniors Helping Seniors.
To come in before you need us, because when the need arises, often there is some stress involved. That may not be the best time for you to search through who you would like to help and come in. So we like to come in with the assessment that everything is well settled, just preparing for the future.
And one thing I noticed in your brochure was that if you're a long distance family member and you have someone living on the West Coast, say, and you need someone to go check on them, and you're not a full-time helper, just when you get nervous, you have that long-distance checkup thing.
Right. That is one of the most common referrals that we get. Adult children who have careers, who cannot afford, time-wise or money-wise, to come out and check on their loved ones all the time. And for them it's peace of mind. We do have the maturity to know that continuity and consistency is that important.
Watching over, in a sense, of what the needs are. And
exactly.
The other thing I was thinking of, although there are needs for homes, and that's, you know, in people's minds as the backup, what's the advantage of a person staying at the home financially and also spiritually? And
well, the homes are very expensive, so that is of course very clear. So there is a pull and a push from the government at state level and federal to support efforts like us, because it saves the government a lot of money if we can keep people in their home longer. More basically, most people, when they get older, happiness is their memories, their identity.
Yeah.
So that's associated with where their home, their pictures on the wall, their neighbors, the view, and how they live. So, and happiness translates into a longer life.
And so also, I think, as in my own experience, visiting my mother, it's much more fun to visit your family member in their own home, you know, rather than in an institutional home. You know? And so visiting, I think, with people is much more relaxed.
That's right, yeah. So of course we need a full spectrum of care. I don't think we will do away with the nursing homes anytime soon, but to maintain the stay in the home longer will be a longer period of time that you can be satisfied with your life. So we're proud to do that, and that of course makes it easier for everybody else to visit as well.
What's some of the challenges that you see in doing this venture, you know, as far as?
So far we have a lot of positives, so that I have to change my direction a little bit. The challenge probably is to fulfill the wide range of needs, but I have full confidence that from the applications so far that we do have a full range of people who are interested in working with me. So the challenge will be to put enough energy into making the right match, and never, when we get busy, to shortchange that. And so the challenge will be, of course, we are computerized, and we have it all.
Everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a computer making a perfect match between people. I don't know about the statistics with Match.com, but in general, we know there is something about human beings that cannot be translated into a computer model. And so we do need to focus on building those personal connections at all times.
Well, I think that there's something that you said about it's our mission first and business second. Of course, you have to make money, but it's the feeling of the purpose of and the soul of this effort is paramount in your mind, as far as and so. How is that? I think that's what can make the difference between. There's a lot of other organizations doing similar things. Right. But how are you going to make a difference in that way? You know, that yours is unique.
Right. Well, I guess that's just the person I am, because even when I did my PhD in linguistics, I knew that wasn't a choice to become rich. Linguistics is a hard field to make a living. And so when I started my institute then, I just was really enthusiastic about a certain vision of how to provide language teaching to the area. And I never really focused on the pennies and the dollars too much. And it proved to be right, that if you do the right thing and you are convinced that you can be the best there can be, and the people like to work with you because of the vision you have, then the money will come later. So I have confidence that the same thing will happen again. I have a certain enthusiasm for contributing to this field by not just assessing and addressing the needs of the seniors. I'm really kind of motivated by the strength of the seniors. So I really want to make a difference in maintaining that strength and keeping them in their home longer, but also making sure their minds are being appreciated and their lives are being appreciated. So from that point of view, I assume that people will be ready to pay some for that.
And also, the seniors that are helping are growing and developing more confidence and usefulness and feeling good about themselves.
Of course, right. Yeah, many people. I mean, the caregivers are often women. In the olden days, women never used to have careers, but many career women have a hard time getting retired. And so having a mission that can fill that with some money, but the real thing that they like in their lives is the structure, because employment gives you a structure and the connections you build through your work and a purpose. So that is another way of having this business model.
And people are living longer, so they kind of, can feel useful much in a
That's
much
right.
longer time than they did in the past.
Right. Where I live, I have several neighbors in their 90s. They are strong. They are capable. When I hold open the door for them, they run to the door. And I don't know what that's, and we have many years to go before we are 90s. I don't know where the future is, but indeed, a strength in the senior population, we have to build it from the bottom up.
Well, the other thing, too, is that one of the great things that is part of this equation is the caregiver at home is the spouse or the family member that is pretty healthy, but is having the stress of having to care about another person.
Right.
Probably on their, not capabilities, but beyond what they want to do. Right. And by having this great assistance from your business that and people that work for you, they can get a break. And tell us a little bit about how important that is for people.
Well, caregiving is incredibly hard. And the more you love the person you want to care for, the harder it gets, because you go all out. You want to go all out. You want to give it your all. But what happens over and over again is that people stress themselves so much by providing more than they can handle. It takes away from their own personal identity and their own needs. So before you know it, the relationship between the caregiver and the loved one becomes very stressed, and negatives enter that relationship. For the caregiver to know when they actually are close to burnout and that the stress gets harder, they may yell or get anxious about the relationship. If they were to work with our organization, we can come in so they can take care of themselves, because if you take care of yourself more, then you will be a better caregiver. So it comes back to both the senior who needs help and the caregiver, that we can provide it on both ends.
The other thing is that the dignity of the person being helped and what they, tell me a little bit about that and how a more mature person can be a better friend in a sense, or why is that?
Right. Well, when I first introduced to my children the idea of me starting this business, they said, "Mom, are you sure?" And of course now they understand that there is a lot of important work to be done. But younger people in general may not really know what it's like to get older, right? They don't see the mind within the frail body or the person who needs. So when you get older, you understand that one day we will all be there, and the mind many times is still very strong and alive. So we know what it's like, we know what we will need at that time, so we have much more empathy for their situation. And that comes, and if you feel understood and respected, it translates into dignity and well-being.